All right, let's talk about Moltbot. This is the tool that has the entire tech world buzzing, and for good reason. See, this isn't just another chatbot. We're talking about a self-hosted AI assistant that can actually do things. It can write code, it can manage your calendar, it can even pick up the phone and talk for you. It's really a glimpse into a future where every single one of us has a personal digital employee. But, and this is a big but, all of that incredible power comes with a really dark side. A set of security risks so serious that its own creator calls running it spicy. So today, let's unpack both the incredible promise and the very real peril of Moltbot.
And look, this is not just hype. People are doing some truly wild things with this. I mean, check this out from user Coyote VN, who is building an entire website on an old-school Nokia phone just by calling their Moltbot. This perfectly shows you its power, right? It's not about some fancy user interface. It just lives in the channels you already use, whether that's your phone or WhatsApp or Telegram.
And that power leads to an unbelievable level of trust. This user, OWASP, literally gave their Moltbot their credit card information. We're not just asking it for facts from the internet anymore, we're delegating real-world high-stakes tasks. And this level of trust, well, that's really the central theme for us today. Because when you grant that much power, you also create a massive, massive target.
So, to put it all together, what we're looking at is a proactive digital employee. It can automate your entire GitHub workflow. If OpenTable is booked, it can just call the restaurant for you. And it can even write its own new programs or skills to learn how to do new things on the fly. This thing has deep, unapologetic access to your machine. And that's exactly where the promise starts to bleed into Peril. With all this power to read your files, execute any code it wants, and access all your accounts, you just have to ask the question, what is the price? What happens when you give an AI with basically no guardrails the keys to your entire digital kingdom?
While the project's creator, Peter Steinberger, has a special word for running Moltbot on your main computer, he calls it spicy. Now that's developer speak for risky, unpredictable, and you are probably going to get burned. And remember, this warning isn't coming from some outside security researcher. This is from the person who built the tool. He knows exactly how powerful and therefore how dangerous it can be.
And he's been even more direct about it. This is not some polished app from the App Store. It's a highly experimental tool for developers and tinkerers who really understand and can manage the sharp edges. If you don't know what a blast radius is, how bad the damage could be if things go wrong, or how to properly secure a network port, this tool can create some absolutely catastrophic problems. Oh, and before we dive into the nitty-gritty of the vulnerabilities, just a quick heads up on the name. You might have seen this tool go viral as Claude-Bot. Well, it had to rebrand to Moltbot after Anthropic, the folks who make the Claude AI model, sent a trademark request. So, same incredibly powerful tool, just a different name. So how real is the risk we're talking about? Well, a security researcher ran a pretty simple scan and found this staggering number, 847. That's 847 Moltbot servers sitting wide open to the public internet with zero password protection. That's 847 people's private messages, their API keys, their entire file systems were just completely exposed, basically waiting for an attacker to walk right in the front door.
Okay, so let's break down exactly how this happens. How does this amazing personal assistant turn into a company's absolute worst security nightmare?
It all starts with a new concept called Shadow AI. You've probably heard of Shadow IT, right? This is the evolution. Instead of just some unapproved app, we're now talking about employees running unmanaged server-grade AI agents on their personal machines. And every single one of these agents just dissolves the traditional security perimeter, creating a direct, unhardened bridge right into corporate data.
And the single biggest vulnerability? It comes from a really simple mistake. The control panel for the agent, its gateway, runs on port 1879. Now, by default, it's only accessible on that local machine. But here's the trap. Users who want remote access often change one little setting to 0.0.0.0, and in doing so, they unknowingly expose the entire control panel with no password to literally anyone on the internet.
What's so crucial to understand here is that these aren't some new, exotic kinds of vulnerabilities we've never seen before. We can map them directly to established cybersecurity frameworks. That open port, that's spoofing and information disclosure in the STRIDE model. Storing API keys in plain text, that's a classic sensitive information disclosure vulnerability. And the main feature, letting the AI run code on your machine, that is the very definition of excessive agency, one of the OWASP top 10 risks for large language models.
So let's walk through what a real attack actually looks like, and it's devastatingly simple. An attacker scans the internet for that open port, 18789. They find one, they access the password-free control panel, they grab the API keys, which are just sitting there in a config file, and then they use that key to run their own operations, like crypto mining, leaving the original unsuspecting user with a bill for thousands and thousands of dollars.
So yeah, the risks are severe, but they are not unavoidable. If you want to experiment with this amazing technology, there are concrete steps you can take to do it safely. So let's look at the protocol for actually hardening your agent.
Okay, rule number 1, and this is the big one, isolation. Do not run this on your main computer. The recommended setup is a dedicated, separate machine, like a Mac Mini or a cheap cloud server. Think of it like hiring a new employee. You give them their own laptop, right? You don't just hand over your personal computer with all your files. This limits that blast radius if something goes wrong.
Now, for the ultimate defense, you absolutely need to use Docker sandboxing. A Docker container is basically a lightweight virtual machine. Think of it as a padded cell for your AI. It lets the agent run, but it severely restricts its access to your main computer and your files. And by configuring it in non-main mode, you can let it handle untrusted stuff, like messages from a big group chat, all safely inside this secure box.
So let's just run through a quick summary of the best practices. Do bind the gateway to localhost, always. Don't ever expose port 18789 to the internet. Do use Docker, especially for things like group chats. Don't install third-party skills that you haven't personally reviewed. And most importantly, do treat your agent like a new hire. Give it its own limited access accounts. Don't give it the password to your main email or your bank account. So let's wrap this all up. Moltbot is way more than just a tool. It's a powerful proof of concept. It's giving us a preview of a future where these autonomous agents are totally commonplace. But it's a future that we absolutely need to approach with extreme caution.
And this brings us to a whole new way of thinking about security that these agents require. This quote from 1Password really says it all. Securing an agent isn't like giving an app permissions one time and you're done. Because the agent is autonomous, because it's unpredictable, security has to be a constant, continuous process, mediating access for every single action it tries to take in real time.
So the bottom line is clear. Autonomous agents that can do things in the real world are no longer science fiction. They are here. They are running on servers and Mac Minis all over the world right now. The technology is just racing ahead. But the really important question that we all have to ask ourselves is, are our security practices, our company policies, and our threat models, are we really ready to manage the risk?